चलिए जी, नेक्स्ट पेपर इज IGCSE पेपर 4 थ्योरी, May June 2024, variance 43. Name the process used to produce ammonia from nitrogen. Haber's process. Produce lead from molten lead to bromide. Electrolysis. Separate an insoluble solid from a mixture of insoluble solid in a solution. Distillation. Filtration भी हो सकता है, हम filtration की तरफ जाएंगे because insoluble solid कह रहा है. Produces ethanol from ethene. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Addition reaction in the presence of catalyst. Identify the components of a mixture of soluble colored substances. Soluble colored substances, chromatography, I think so, because हम यही देखते हैं chromatography में. By the way, हमने क्लास में पढ़ा है from ethene to ethanol आप hydration भी कहते हैं. सही है, you can write hydration also in this case. Separate mixture of several liquids from different boiling point. Fractional distillation. Okay. और ज़्यादा बेस्ट ये है कि हम आखिरी वाला भी देख लें. Determine the volume of an acid required to neutralize given volume of an alkali. Neutralization, titration. So neutralization is a process and titration is an practical term. So I'm gonna go with the titration thing. Okay. Complete table 2.1. Okay. Copper has an atomic number of 29, so it has 29 protons. Obviously, it has 29 electrons. And when you subtract 63 minus 29, you will get 34 neutrons. Now, it has an atomic number of 17, which means it has 17 protons. And obviously, it should have 17 electrons, but the negative charge means it absorbs 1 electron. So, total electron would be 18 now. See, atomic number is 30, which means it is zinc. When we add these proton and neutron, I'll get the mass, which is 64. And since total electrons we have 28, which means zinc carries 2 plus charge. C, number of protons greater than electrons, which means it is a cation. Now, how much charge we have? So obviously यहाँ पर 2 electrons कम है, तो इसका मतलब 2 plus charge होना चाहिए. Okay, that's an easy question. Next. This question is about elements and compounds. Some properties of graphite, oxygen, and carbon monoxide are shown in table 3.1. Explain why graphite conducts electricity when solid. Because graphite contain free mobile electron. because it contains free mobile electron. Complete the dot and cross diagram in figure 3.1 of a molecule of oxygen. Show outer shell electrons only. Oxygen has 6 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one is 6. Now this oxygen also has 6 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since oxygen molecule contain double bond, which means 2 electrons of each element share together, which is why 2 electrons of each element share together का concept apply किया मैंने यहाँ पर. और ये सब चीजें हमने पढ़ी नहीं है, आपको याद होनी चाहिए बहुत अच्छे तरीके से. Deduce the physical state of carbon monoxide at minus 195 degrees Celsius. Minus 195. Melting point is minus 191. Or boiling point is minus 191. Melting point is 199. So examiner is looking for minus 195. So obviously it is liquid. Because melting point is below minus 195 degrees Celsius and boiling point is above minus 195 degrees Celsius. Okay. आप ये भी कह सकते हैं कि minus 195 is greater than minus 199. सही है. Or boiling point is greater than this value, right? Let's move on to the next. Explain in terms of structure and bonding why graphite has a much higher melting point than carbon monoxide. Graphite has a giant covalent structure with lots of covalent bonds. So more energy is needed to break such bonds. Carbon monoxide has a simple covalent molecule with weak van der Waals forces. So less energy is needed to overcome such force. Okay. Potassium reacts with chlorine to form potassium chloride. Write a symbol equation for this reaction. Okay, this is potassium. This is chlorine converting into potassium chloride. So we need to balance chlorine. We have 2 chlorine here. So I will put 2 here. We have 2 potassium. I'll put 2 here. Okay. A dilute aqueous solution of potassium chloride undergoes electrolysis. Oxygen is produced at anode. What is meant by the term electrolysis? Chemical decomposition of compound by the passage of direct current is called electrolysis. Write an ionic half equation for the production of oxygen at anode. You should remember this equation: 4OH negative converting into water, oxygen, and 4 electrons. Okay. Next, question number 4. Dinitrogen tetroxide decomposes into nitrogen dioxide according to this equation. Figure shows the gas syringe containing mixture of dinitrogen tetroxide and nitrogen dioxide. The gas syringe is sealed, the mixture reaches equilibrium, and the color of the mixture gases is pale brown. Okay. Describe a reversible reaction at equilibrium in terms of the rate of forward reaction and the rate of the reverse reaction. So obviously at equilibrium, when the system reaches equilibrium, obviously the rate of forward is always the rate of backward reaction. Rate of forward is equals to rate of backward reaction. The concentration of reactant in products. Obviously, guys, we know at equilibrium, concentration of reactant in product must be constant. Okay. Next, the pressure of the mixture is increased. All other conditions stays the same. The mixture immediately turns dark brown before the position of equilibrium changes. Explain in terms of particles why mixture immediately turns darker brown. So look at the equation first. We have 1 mole here and we have 2 moles of gases here. All right. So when you increase the pressure, equilibrium favors in that direction where we can have less number of moles. Ultimately, equilibrium moves towards left hand side, and as a result, brown gas will turn to colorless, which is why really, how come? Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. It is a sealed container actually. So when you increase the pressure, the gaseous molecules are compressed, so molecules come close together. And as the molecules come close together, obviously, this nitrogen dioxide, when come close together, obviously it will turn to dark brown. So it has nothing to do with the in terms of particles. So at high pressure, molecules comes close together. So more nitrogen dioxide molecules are very crowded. Because gaseous molecules are compressed. Next, the temperature of the mixture is increased. All other conditions stays the same. The mixture turns darker brown. when temperature of the mixture is increased, obviously, okay. Examiner is looking for what can be deduced about the forward reaction for this reaction. Obviously, it is a bond breaking process, which is why it is endothermic. So, किसी भी endothermic reaction में when we increase the temperature, equilibrium favors towards forward direction. More NO2 molecules is formed, and therefore mixture turns darker brown. So, forward reaction is endothermic. Because at high temperature, equilibrium favors towards right hand side. So more NO2 gas is obtained, and so mixture turns dark brown. Okay. Sulfur is converted into sulfuric acid by a series of reactions. Sulfur dioxide and oxygen react to form sulfur trioxide. The reversible reaction reaches equilibrium. Using only words increases, decreases, or no change. Rate of forward reaction increases. Effect of the equilibrium yield, no change, because catalyst changes only rate of reaction. It has nothing to do with the equilibrium yield. Increasing the pressure increases the rate of reaction. And obviously, we have total 3 moles of reactant and total 2 moles of product, right? So if you are increasing the pressure, equilibrium favors towards right hand side. So obviously sulfur trioxide की जो equilibrium yield है वो increase होगी. Okay. Reduce the oxidation number of sulfur in S. Sulfur is monatomic element, so all monatomic elements has 0 charge. In SO3, sulfur has an oxidation state of +6. We have done that in class also. So that's the end of this question. Let's move on to the next one. Barium sulfate is insoluble salt and is made by precipitation. Name 2 aqueous solution that produces precipitation of barium sulfate. So examiner is looking for 2 soluble salts. The first one is sodium sulfate or potassium sulfate. And the second one is lead to nitrate. Describe how to produce pure sample of barium sulfate from a mixture of aqueous solution. Obviously, सबसे पहले आप filter करेंगे. Filter the mixture. Wash the residue with distilled water. And obviously फिर मैं dry करूंगा residue को, dry the residue on the filter paper. Okay. Write an ionic equation for the precipitation reaction which produces barium sulfate. So for barium sulfate, I need barium ions. Medium is aqueous. I need sulfate ions. Medium is aqueous. And obviously barium sulfate is formed. It has a precipitate, so it is solid. Soluble salts are made from dilute acids. Name dilute acid and one other substance that reacts together to make copper 2 sulfate. Dilute acid is dilute H2SO4. And dilute sulfuric acid, because examiner is looking for the name. Okay. And other substance is copper 2 oxide. We have done that in class. So when these two substances react together, copper 2 sulfate and water is formed. Nitrates decomposes when they are heated. When hydrated copper 2 nitrate is heated, oxygen gas is produced. Describe a test for oxygen gas. ऑक्सीजन गैस का टेस्ट तो बहुत ही आसान है. Insert the burning splinter in the jar. Insert the burning splinter in the gas jar. Splinter relights. अब ये होता है glowing splinter relights. Okay. Next, complete the equation for the decomposition of hydrated copper 2 nitrate. We have 2 copper ions, so 2 here. We have 4 nitrogen, 4 here. We have 3 times 2, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. 3 times 2, 6, 6 plus 2, 12. 12 तो बैलेंस करने के लिए यहाँ पे 6 लगाइए, ये हो गई इक्वेशन बैलेंस. ओके. C 2 copper, 2 copper, 2 times 2, 4 nitrogen, 4 nitrogen. C 3 times 2, 6, 6 times 2, 12. So to make 12 hydrogen, 6 here. Next, my goodness, hydrated zinc sulfate gives off water when it is heated. Okay. A student does an experiment to determine the value of X. Okay, the student weighs a sample, the student heats a sample, the student weighs in solid after heating, the student repeats step 2 and step 3 until solid mass of is constant. State why the student does step 4. जाहिर सी बात है, अगर आपको कांस्टेंट रीडिंग चाहिए तो आप टू मेक श्योर कि रिएक्शन कंप्लीट हो गया है, to ensure that all the water of crystallization has been removed. So when you will get a constant mass, which means सारा का सारा water of crystallization remove हो गया. In an experiment, 0.574 gram of this hydrated complex, hydrated salt, is heated until mass is constant. Mass of zinc sulfate remain is 0.322 gram mr, given value of X. Moles of ZnSO4. So mass of ZnSO4 is 0.3 222 divided by the mr, which is 161. So यहाँ से मोल्स कितने हो जाएंगे हमारे पास? 0.002 moles. Okay. Okay, the mass of water is given off. Sample ka mass is given. Mass of zinc sulfate is given. If you subtract these two values, you will get the mass lost or mass of water. So it is 0.574 minus 0.322. So it's going to be 0.252 gram. In order to calculate the moles of water, I just simply divide 2.252 divided by 18, so I'll get moles, and moles is 0.014, and this is 0.252 gram. Okay. Value of X, I know the moles of zinc sulfate, I know the moles of water. I'll get the simplest ratio by using the empirical formula concept, and I'll get the value of X. Zinc sulfate and water. Zinc sulfate 0.0020, and this is 0.0140, or 0.0140 is the least value. Obviously 20 and 0020. This is 1, this is 7. So value of X is 7. Okay. So this is going to be like this: ZnSO4.7H2O. So value of X is going to be 7. So 0.0020 is the lower value as compared to this one, which is why I have to divide this value on both the sides. So I'll get 1:7 ka ratio. So value of X is 7. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. This question is about iron. Blast furnace is used to extract iron from its ore. Name the main ore of iron, hematite ore. Name the substance that enters the blast furnace at A. A यहाँ से enter कर रहे हैं हम, तो यहाँ से हम hot air जो है वो blown करते हैं. If you remember, name the reducing agent in the extraction of iron in the blast furnace. Carbon monoxide. Explain why limestone is added to the blast furnace. Give details of the chemical reactions that are involved. Calcium carbonate is decomposed on heating. To give calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Now, calcium oxide reacts with silicon dioxide to give molten slag. So equation for the reaction is calcium carbonate converting into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide, calcium oxide and silicon dioxide reacting together converting into calcium silicate. calcium silicate का formula आना चाहिए CaSiO3, and that calcium silicate is basically your slag, जो कि इनिशियली मोल्टन फॉर्म में होता है और जब हम उसको रूम टेम्परेचर पर कूल करते हैं तो वो सॉलिड हो जाता है. ओके. The list shows the properties of some elements. State which property from the list is true for sodium but not iron. Sodium has low density, iron की density low नहीं होती. And also they have low melting points. अच्छा, मुझे कैसे याद है कि इसकी डेंसिटी कम होती है सोडियम? बिकॉज सोडियम जो है वो वाटर की सरफेस पे फ्लोट होता है, आयरन नहीं होता. सही है. Is true for iron but not sodium. भाई आयरन जो है वो कलर्ड कंपाउंड बनाता है, एज ए कैटलिस्ट इस्तेमाल होता है. Or you can write form colored compounds. Is true for both sodium and iron. Mm, 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 mm. दोनों मेटल्स हैं तो बेसिक ऑक्साइड बनाते हैं. फॉर्म्स बेसिक ऑक्साइड. Is not true for sodium but not true for iron and not true for iron. दोनों नेगेटिव आयंस नहीं बनाते. और जाहिर सी बात है मेटल्स हैं तो एसिडिक ऑक्साइड भी नहीं बनाएंगे. Do not form एसिडिक ऑक्साइड. सो इन दोनों में से कोई एक लिखना है. हाँ. नेक्स्ट पार्ट सी. Steel consists mainly of iron. Iron rust when it reacts with water and oxygen. Figure shows magnesium block attached to the bottom of the steel board. The magnesium does not completely cover the steel. Okay, that's called sacrificial protection. Explain in terms of electrons why magnesium is used for sacrificial protection, because magnesium is more reactive. So it loses electron easily. Then iron. Name a metal that cannot provide sacrificial protection for steel. Obviously, कोई भी ऐसा मेटल जिसकी रिएक्टिविटी मैग्नीशियम से कम हो. सो लाइक कॉपर और सिल्वर. Okay. So that's the end of this question. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 7. My goodness, calculation again. An organic compound A has the following composition by mass. Calculate the empirical formula of compound A. This is carbon 83.33 divided by 12. This is hydrogen 16.67 divided by 1. So this is going to be 6.94 and this is going to be 16.67. 6.94 is the lower value. Divide on both the side. So it's going to be 1 and it's going to be 2.4. So obviously lower number से multiply करेंगे. इसको multiply करो 5 से, इसको multiply करो 5 से. So I think it's going to be 10. It's going to be 5. So C5H10 is basically the empirical formula of this organic compound A. Okay. No, hold on. Let me check. 2.4 into 5. Oh, it's 12 actually. So when you multiply by 5, so it's going to be C5H12. Okay. My bad. Next, Compound B has the empirical formula C2H5 and a relative molecular mass 58. Determine the molecular formula. Okay, that's easy. CH2 taken N equals to Mr. CH2 has a mass of 14. N equals to Mr is 58. So N equals to 58 divided by 14. So 58 divided by 14 is going to be 4. So it's going to be CH2 taken 4. So it's going to be C4H8. That C4H8 is going to be the right answer. Okay. My bad, my bad, my bad. What is this? That was the pathetic mistake I have done. It is C2H5. It is not CH2. 58. So 29 N equals to 58. So N equals to 58 divided by 29. So N की value is going to be 2. So when you plug in C2H5 taking 2, so it's going to be C4H10. Okay. That is the answer. Okay. So ये मुझसे mistake हुई, आप लोग careful रहिएगा, ठीक है? Figure 7.1 shows section of a polymer formed from an alkene. Identify the functional group in alkene that reacts when alkene forms polymer. Double bond, obviously. Double bonded. Carbon atom. C double bond C. This is the polymer. Draw the displayed formula of the monomer. Oh my goodness. So this is going to be the monomer. It has to be like this. CH3 CH2. All right. ये हो गया हमारे पास. इसके साथ CH attach है. Double bond and then CH2. So I need to mention this one. Okay. CH3 CH2 CH double bond CH2. So it's butanene. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is going to be the toughest one now because displayed चाहिए examiner को. Hold on. Displayed means you need to mention all the bonds and all the atoms. Okay. CH2. Name the monomer used for this butanene or 1-butene, but butanene is the right answer. Next, alkenes are produced by cracking alkanes. When C12H26 is correct, the products are ethene and an alkane, which forms in 2:1 molar ratio. Write the simple equation for this reaction. C12 is dodecane. Dodecane will turn to ethene, which is C2H4, and an alkane. So what's left here? We have 12 carbon, we have 2 carbons, so 10 carbon atom left. Total 26 hydrogen. We have 4 here. How much left? Okay, 2 more. So I need 2 more here. 2 times 4, 8. Okay, this is basically 8 carbon atom left because examiner is looking for 2:1 ka ratio. So this is 2 mole, this is 1 mole. How many hydrogen atoms here? 2 times 4, 8. 26 minus 8 becomes 26 minus 8 becomes 18. So C8H18 actually. So this is your octane, this is your ethene. Both exist in 2:1 ratio. Okay. State the general formula of alcohol. That's easy. CN H2N plus 1 dot OH. Draw the displayed formula of one alcohol with the molecular formula C3H8O. Name the alcohol you have drawn. So 3 carbon atom alcohol is this. An examiner is looking for the displayed formula, which means you need to mention all the atoms and all the bonds. This is CH3, CH2, CH2, OH. How many carbon atom? 1, 2, 3. Carbon satisfied. Total hydrogen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one is 8. Hydrogen satisfied. Only one oxygen. Oxygen satisfied. So its name is propane 1-ol. Propane dash 1-ol, also called 1-propanol. We have done that in class, okay? Or just propanol. और हो सकता है किसी बच्चे ने इस तरह से लिख लिया हो, ये भी तो पॉसिबिलिटी है ना. 1, 2, 3, OH यहाँ आ गया. If you remember, both are isomers of each other because both of them have same molecular formula, but they have a structural formula, right? So अगर किसी बच्चे ने ये बनाया है, इसका नाम हो जाएगा propane 2-ol or 2-propanol. All right. So that's the end of this paper, guys. Thank you very much.